Todo un año, 2 años, 3 años estuvimos llorando. Ahora ya no.
3 years now we have been crying. Now the pain is going away. But when I go to work up there, every day I cry for my son. He was the oldest. The army took him. 5 men they took up to another village, and there they killed them. We can't say anything. They don't want us to talk about what happened.
Vino aquí el ejército. Dijeron, ustedes tienen que estar con nosotros.
The army came here. They said, you must be on our side. These guerrillas have tricked you. They betrayed you. They are subversives.
Esa vez fue cuando entró Ríos Montt.
That's when Ríos Montt came to power, and the civil patrols were organized. Everyone must join, because whoever is against the patrol is assumed to be a leftist.
We are protecting our nation,
so that we can be free here in Todos Santos.
Es porque el pueblo lo quiere patrullar.
It's because the people want it.
Sí, porque he asustado mucho antes.
In 1981-82, they were very frightened. They don't want that now. It might happen again, and my village just doesn't want that.
Mi pueblo no quiere eso.
Entonces se organizaron y entonces fue cuando empezaron a también a buscar.
That's when they began to search out their brothers or friends who were with the guerrillas, and that's when they started to have problems.
Esas guerrilleras, esas son gente malos que ya no piensan en Dios.
These guerrillas are bad people who don't believe in God. They live in the mountains like animals, like coyotes.
Organizaron patrulla.
The patrols were organized and I was made commander to direct the patrol.
And how do you direct the patrol?
Es que estoy dirigiendo para que cuidan. Digamos, yo tengo una orden.
I have an order that the men protect the population so that no enemy enters the village.
Para que no haya enemigo entra aquí en el pueblo.
Es para cuidar al pueblo.
To protect the village, according to the ideology that the army has put into the minds of the people.
Es para cuidar.
To protect the family, their property.
Esa es la mentalidad.
This is the mentality of the army.
4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18.
¿Ustedes son pagados por ese trabajo? Are you paid for this work?
No. No, we are here voluntarily.
Pero si uno no quiere hacer. And if someone doesn't want to patrol?
¿Cómo es?
And if someone doesn't want to patrol?
Pues uno no quiere, pero entonces.
If they don't, well, we have orders to send them down to military headquarters. Those who don't fulfill their duty, we are here by order of the government.
Estamos aquí por el orden de gobierno.
Every morning in villages throughout Guatemala, 15 to 30 men report for 24-hour patrol duty, taking time away from farming or paid work on the plantations.
Reporta cualquier accidente, digamos.
The patrol reports any event. For example, the appearance of a person with non-rightist ideas or ideas which are different from the present government.
La patrulla muy bien puede tomarlo.
The patrol can very easily arrest him and send him down to military headquarters.
The village indeed had changed. In one of several eating places, I met Faustina. She had accepted the guerrillas at first, but later they murdered her common-law husband, who was considered a wealthy man. What do you think of the guerrillas?
I don't know. We are just listening, hoping. That's all. No, we can't say anything because we don't understand. Thanks be to God, it is quiet now. Nothing's happening. We're not being scared.
Tal vez fue culpa de la mujer porque él.
It was my daughter-in-law's fault. She was very jealous. She thought my son went with another woman, but it wasn't true. That's how he was killed.
If, like Marcelino, they do speak, it is to talk about how someone betrayed them to the army or to the guerrillas for personal reasons.
He was a leader of the guerrillas.
Who?
Her father.
Then why did they want to kill your son?
Suppose Lazaro was a guerrilla, which he wasn't, but his father-in-law was. He helped the guerrillas who came here.
Some, like Senor Julian, were staunchly against the guerrillas from the beginning.
Tengo casas y tengo terrenos y tengo animales.
I have houses and land and animals. That's why they say I am rich, but I worked for it. It's not something that should be given to me. It's hard work that gives you things like money and animals. And animals are necessary for fertilizer.
So you don't agree that the rich should share with others?
No, nunca más no tiene. Porque es mi propio.
No, because it's mine.
Es como tal usted. ¿Está de acuerdo usted que me
For
dé un
example,
pantalón?
would you agree to give me your trousers just like that? Or your shirt? Or your camera? Would you just give it to me?
Me los regalás. Nada. Es propio de usted.
What you earn is yours to keep.
The people had been warned not to talk to any outsiders. I asked my friend Jorge about the conflicts in the community, but our conversation was cut short when a passerby signaled disapproval. He quickly changed the subject.
So, when did your friends get here?
Fear, because they know what happened. That's why people are afraid. If they didn't see exactly what took place, well, it would be different. But since they saw it with their own eyes, that's why they are afraid. They don't want it to happen again.
They took him to another village, but I'm not going to say more because I'm afraid.
Sí, porque el otro día, cuando uno va a hablar, oye la gente.
Because people listen and then they come and get you. That's what they were doing. Just recently, they killed some people here in San Sebastián. They come to get you, in your house, the army, the civil patrol. I'm afraid. I want to live a while longer. Maybe God knows when I'm going to die. But if the guerrillas come to kill me, or the army,
These are the Cuchumatanes mountains around Todos Santos, where the guerrilla army of the poor was most active. In 5 years, the civil patrol of Todos Santos has yet to report a single sighting of the enemy. The army troops are gone from Todos Santos, and the people are again practicing their traditional dances. For centuries, the Indians have vented their anger against those who treat them as inferior in mass dances and theatrical skits. In the dance of the Ishcampores, the Todos Santeros mock not the Spanish conquerors, but their descendants, the Ladinos, Guatemalans of mixed Spanish and Indian ancestry. They put on the dull Ladino clothing and imitate their drunkenness and rude behavior. It it is tolerated as folklore. When some dared to speak more directly on pressing issues like land reform and social equality, entire communities were exterminated. Many who spent up to a year in other villages have now returned to Todos Santos to rebuild their lives. After President Benicio Cerezo Arevalo took office in January 1986, financial aid was distributed to many Indian villages. In Todos Santos, the market is being enlarged to accommodate the growing population. But these projects are still approved and directed by the military.
The soldiers made friends with the people, and little by little, the people began to trust the soldiers. And now the people of Todos Santos trust in the soldiers a lot.
Since there is little paid work available, the men consider themselves lucky to get a few days' work on the project at $2 a day. I went to visit Jorge, who we met on the road, at his comedor in the market. In spite of hardships and obstacles, the Todos Santeros never seem to give up on trying to better their lives. Jorge and his wife run their comedor 2 days a week, when people from outlying areas come to town to buy, sell, and to socialize. When the last customer had gone, we were finally able to talk.
Pues yo realmente pensé pues estar con la guerrilla porque...
Well, at first, I was thinking of joining the guerrillas, but then I went on once.
Pero ya después mejor salí. Fui a 3 meses a Shela por el miedo.
Because I was afraid of the army
de la guerrilla.
and of the guerrillas.
Porque mataban.
Because they were killing.
Y así, ya cuando vine...
And when I returned, there was a civil patrol.
Sí.
And now?
Ahora ya, más tranquilo.
It's more peaceful.
Do you still go to the coast?
Sí. El mes de agosto.
In August and in December.
Diciembre.
I thought the men couldn't go to the coast because of patrol duty.
Sí, antes no querían
Yes.
que uno saliera.
At first, they didn't want us to go to the coast. But out of necessity, we have to go there.
Nosotros hablamos, tenía que hablar con el jefe.
So we have to speak to the patrol leader and ask permission for 1 or 2 months.
Un mes, 2 meses. Tiene que salir.
We must go to the coast.
Do you have to pay?
Sí.
Oh, yes. We have to pay for someone to take our place.
Santiago spent most of 1982 in Guatemala City.
Ya empezando el 83, cuando nosotros nos vinimos aquí. Pero ya no hay nada de excelencia en la casa.
Starting with 83, when we returned, there was nothing. The house was empty, no plates, no wood, no corn. They had stolen everything.
In 1979, Santiago lived with her mother, sisters-in-law, and their 12 children. Santiago had 2 children. Today, she lives with her mother and her 4 children. I asked Santiago how things were going now.
Muy cuesta. Y no así como antes.
Oh, it's difficult. Not like before. A man could get work quickly. Now it's hard to find work, and they pay very little.
Y pagan barata. Peor, ahorita es mucho huérfano.
And the orphans. They killed men with 10 or 12 children.
Hay veces que no se consigue.
Sometimes they can't get food, clothing, shoes.
I asked Santiago why her younger children were not wearing traditional clothes.
Y hasta caro el hilo.
The thread is expensive. With 50 quetzales, you can get just a little of each color. But if you have no money?
In 1979, Guatemala's inflation rate was 15%. By 1987, it was 100% and rising. Are you teaching Christina?
Sí, le estoy enseñando.